Namaste dosto. I know this video is long overdue for those of you who are learning Hindi, and I'm sorry. But we're here now, and what better time could there be than right now to be learning a language while we all have this free time. So it's all happened for a reason, and also part of the reason is right now I'm spending 3 months studying Hindi full-time at school as well. So right now, obviously, I'm not in school. I'm here in the Himalayas in India. I'm meant to be going to school, but schools have been closed. Ever since I arrived here, unfortunately, I got here and then the next day, schools were closed. What to do now? So yeah, right now I'm doing Skype classes with the teachers instead of being with them in person. And we're going to talk exactly about these 2 ways to learn in person and Skype later on. But right now I want to address a number of frequently asked questions that I get about learning Hindi. And this video will be useful for beginners as well as more advanced people. There is a ton of knowledge in this video, okay? So chalo, let's start with the first question. How hard is Hindi to learn and how long does it take to learn? So how hard is Hindi? Well, it's not as easy as some languages for us English speakers to learn, like German. And it's also not as hard as some of the Chinese languages, like Mandarin for us English speakers to learn. It's somewhere in the middle. But the thing is, you can learn Hindi. You can learn any language you want. All it takes is commitment. That's it. You can learn any language if you are committed. And being committed to learning is the key to learning anything. It's the key to learning any language, all right? And that's why I'm here for 3 months studying Hindi full time. And how long does it take to learn? Well, I'd roughly estimate if you're spending all your day full-time studying Hindi, you can go through like an introductory book in 3 months, the intermediate book takes 3 months, and the expert book takes 3 months as well to get through. So yeah, if you finish those 3 courses, you'll probably be advanced at Hindi within kind of 9 months. That's studying full-time, okay? Learning a language takes a lifetime. You never stop learning a language. I'm still screwing up English and learning new words and trying to correct all the mistakes that I always make in English. So yeah, learning any language, there's no set amount of time. You can learn a lot if you study full-time for 1 year, okay? But it's a lifetime thing, right? You're never going to stop learning. People always come up to me and they say, Carl, if you want to learn Hindi, all you got to do is watch Hindi films and Hindi TV shows. You could become fluent so quickly if you just watch TV and movies. Oh God, I wish it was that true, nah? I don't think those people have ever learned a language before. That's why they're saying something like that. You can't learn a language just by reading subtitles when you're watching a Hindi film. It doesn't work like that. While you're watching a film and reading the subtitles, you're focusing on reading the subtitles. You're not focusing on listening to the language and interpreting it. We can't do both at once. Well, at least I can't. When films and TV come in handy is when I've been studying all day long and I want to go relax. I go and watch a Hindi film or a Hindi TV show, and it's just like a supplement to your learning, right? I'm listening to them speak Hindi, I'm reading the subtitles, I'm stopping it and being like, oh, they said that in Hindi like that. That's how you can use TV and films to supplement your learning. You can't just learn a language from watching TV or films. It's just not that easy. I'll give you one example of the complexities, okay? Hindi is very different from English. The sentence structure is different. Words are different. The way you form words is different as well, okay? And one good example is, so room is obviously singular, and then you have rooms in English, which is the plural for room, rooms. In Hindi, you have 2 plurals for the word rooms. You have kamre and kamro. Kamre and kamro. How are you going to know when to use kamro and when to use kamre? And then you have kamra, which is the singular form. There are 2 plurals for many words in Hindi. Okay, so a TV show is not going to help you understand the grammar, which you need to know, or else it's going to be frustrating. Like, why the hell do I have to use kamro? Why can't I just use kamre, 2 rooms? Why do I have to say kamro me? Like, do kamre me, like in 2 rooms. Why do I got to do it? So yeah, you really need to have some structure and have a course and be learning grammar. You can't just learn it all from a film or TV show. Sorry to break it to you. Actually, if there is one kind of entertainment you could consume to learn a language, it would be reading. When you read stories in Hindi, you learn so much. You're actually consuming the words with your eyes and your brain, right? You're reading the Hindi script. You're learning sentence structure. You're learning pronunciation. You're learning new words. You're learning so much from reading. So rather than watching films, learn the Hindi script and start reading. A lot of my study every day is just reading different passages, understanding them, learning new words, and learning sentence structure, which is so different from English. It's kind of backwards in a lot of ways. And this segues really nicely into the next question. Should you learn Hindi through the English alphabet? Like, not learn Hindi script and just learn it through English letters. Nah, you shouldn't. And there's one big benefit here for learning Hindi. Hindi script is extremely easy to read. It is easier than English. In Hindi, the way words are written, they are pronounced exactly the way they're written, for the most part. Unlike English, English has so many words which are written differently to how they're pronounced. Or one word sounds the same, but has 5 different spellings. Like hair as in a rabbit, or hair to the throne. You know what I mean? And there's more hairs than that, actually. Hair on your head. Oh, it goes on. Or why is gym spelled Gaim? You know, you go to the Church of Iron to work out. Or why is gym spelled Gaim? Why isn't it spelled J-I-M? Why is it G-Y-M? Why is it not? So English has a lot of these complexities which Hindi doesn't have. Hindi script, Hindi reading is very easy, and you can learn it literally within a week or 2. That is the one big benefit of learning Hindi. There is one easy part to it, all right, and that is the script and the reading. So yes, start with the reading. And the other thing is, you can show all the different pronunciations and vowels and everything in English letters, in the English alphabet, but it's just better if you learn Hindi script. Then you can see exactly how words are spelled. There's a couple of words which sound the same, but the letters are totally different. So bhai and bhai. There's a difference there, and it's that I aspirated the second word, brother, bhai. It's just better if you learn the Hindi script so you can see where these aspirations are, and you can spell words properly when you want to write them in English, if you want to write them in English. So yeah, learn Hindi script first. Then you can be a bit lazy and write an English script if you're trying to write things fast, okay? You don't have to learn to write Hindi. I haven't learned to write it, but I can because I can read it, right? So, but in India, you'll never have to write in Hindi, basically. It's always in English. ठीक है. Agla question. And this is one that I've been trying to answer myself as well. Should you go to Hindi lessons, or can you just learn online, or just learn through an app? So let's start with lessons. Lessons is obviously, having a Hindi tutor, having a Hindi guru is obviously the best way to learn. They're going to teach you reading, writing, pronunciation, which is so important. They're going to teach you conversation. Learning to speak a language is a lot about making mistakes in conversation and having your tutor correct them. And the reading part, having somebody there listening to your reading and correcting you and helping you understand the sentence structure and the words. Nothing can beat going to Hindi lessons and having a Hindi tutor and working full-time. When it comes to learning through an app, I always recommend Duolingo. You can learn basic Hindi through Duolingo, and it will be enough for you to travel around India. You'll learn heaps through Duolingo. Basic Hindi that will get you around India easily. So if that's all you want to do, if you just want to learn basic Hindi for traveling, go grab Duolingo. It's free, you don't have to pay anything, and yeah, you can learn enough Hindi to get around India. But if you want to go further with your Hindi learning, you need to have a tutor. There is no other way around it. And when it comes to having a tutor, we'll talk about online and in person soon. But when it comes to having a tutor, there's some things you need to do. The key thing is you've got to have a structure, okay? It's all very well to have a teacher, but if you and the teacher have no structure as to what you're learning, you're going to go nowhere. You're going to be learning random things. So you need a book. You need some kind of course plan that's been designed by somebody, and you and your teacher, you work through that book in stages, right? it goes from easy and it gets harder and it gets harder, and you're learning new words, you're learning new tenses. You know what I mean? A perfectly or a well-designed course will walk you through the language at a good pace, all right? So structure is key, as well as commitment, which I talked about at the very beginning of this video. Structure and commitment. So every day I'm studying Hindi for 4 hours, plus another hour or 2 hours in the evening. During the day, I'm going through the course book with my tutors, doing a lot of reading, learning new vocab. At night, I'm going back and I'm like, what didn't I understand? I'm going and watching YouTube videos from channels like Hindi University, and I'm learning grammar. I'm going over tenses again, basically, in another YouTube video from another teacher, just to clear this in my mind. And then the next day when I come back, I've really got that new tense in my head. So that's me studying full-time, all right? Now, in person versus on Skype. This is something I learned lately. With the school being shut down and me having taken classes with a tutor before, nothing beats in person, right? Skype is good for learning to talk and reading. Like those two things you can do easily over Skype, right? But when it comes to learning pronunciation and learning writing, Skype ain't so useful because there's a lot that is said in your pronunciation of words in Hindi. And you can only get that pronunciation right by having a tutor sitting next to you only. There's no other way. And Skype always lags a little bit. There's always that awkwardness in every single call with your tutor. It's no substitute for them being here and you being able to converse as humans together and hear each other's pronunciation. Yeah, Skype, I'm not saying Skype's bad. Skype's not bad. A lot of us have no other option than Skype. And before I started doing Skype lessons, I thought, oh my God, they would be rubbish. I can't believe you can learn anything on Skype. But you can. It's not perfect, but if you can't come to Hindi school, then Skype is your next best thing, okay? And if you want to study at a Hindi school here in India, I'm going to link to a blog post. I've actually been and visited most of the Hindi schools here in India before I chose which Hindi school I'll study at. I got on my motorbike, drove around India, visited 3 or 4 schools. So go and check that out. Now, what about how long should you study per day? Should you go part-time or full-time? Do whatever you can. Give as much as you can. Obviously, full-time is the holy grail. That's the best, right? Think about how, for example, in New Zealand, we have a lot of Chinese students who come to New Zealand and they learn English. So what they do for the first year is they go to an ESOL school, English as a second language school. And they literally just learn English all day long. And within 6 months, they're speaking English well. Within a year, they're speaking it great. So if you can give yourself that much time, if you can take time out of life and come to Hindi school and study full-time, obviously that's the best. That you can learn Hindi, or enough Hindi within a year, within 9 months, within 6 months, easily. Because that's all you're doing, right? I know that's hard for so many of us to dedicate that much time to learning, but I've been planning this trip to study full-time for 3 months. I planned it a year ago. I knew I had to do this. And I'll speak more about why I knew I had to do this in another video, like my Hindi learning story and why I learn Hindi. Basically, it's for my family and it's part of my passion, and it's me wanting to assimilate into the country that I love, into India. I don't want to be an outsider. I want to be an Indian. And in North India, Hindi is the way to assimilate and be accepted into culture, or else you're always on the outside. That's the crux of that video anyway. And the negative side of studying part-time is you're not fully committed to it, I'm stuck here at the Hindi school, full-time learning. I got no other choice. I got to wake up at 7, I got to be in class at 8, and I can't leave till 1 p.m. I'm stuck there. That is what I needed to take my Hindi to the next level. I need to be forced, whipped, beaten, whatever, into learning. And it's a great feeling. In the morning, I'm like, 8 a.m. class. But by the afternoon, I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. I've learned a new tense, I've learned so much, and my Hindi's improving. This is going to improve my life. So yeah, part-time, you've really got to focus on your commitment. Maybe you can do 1 or 2 classes a week. Yeah, that would be ideal, but it's so easy to slip out of that. And I slipped out of learning so many times for so many years. I've been trying to learn Hindi for 10 years, more than that. And it's so easy just to slip out and other priorities come into your life and you get busy. So yeah, I knew that I just had to focus right now, lock myself away for 3 months and just make it happen. So yeah, I can't recommend enough coming to a Hindi school, studying full time. And you got to make it happen yourself. If you really want this, you got to make it happen, okay? Now, if you're gonna study online via Skype, great. That's what I'm doing right now. I know it works. You're gonna need a few things though to set yourself up. You need like a 15-inch laptop. So you can have your tutor's video on the left side, and on the right side, you can be writing your notes, or you can have your workbook open if it's a PDF, okay? You need a big screen on your laptop just so you can multitask while you're learning, while you're reading, while you're listening, while you're looking, all that stuff. You need a big screen, all right? You need a headset, okay? Grab a good headset. Don't buy a cheap one. Buy one that has some noise cancellation in it. So you can be listening to your tutor and they can be hearing you well. And they can hear your pronunciation better, you can hear them better. And you've got your hands free, right? You can be writing, you can be moving the mouse, doing whatever you want. You need a mouse. You don't want to be screwing around with that trackpad because you're listening to this person talking, or you're reading and you're doing something on the computer. You've got to have a mouse, big laptop, hands-free kit, a good desk, a big desk. So you can have your book here, your laptop here, your water bottle here. You're going to need a water bottle because you're speaking so much. And a good chair, one that keeps you upright. I'm kind of slouching right now, but one that keeps you upright so you can be here and here and here and focusing. And yeah, set yourself up with those things and your Skype classes are going to go as good as they can. They're going to be good enough for you to be learning Hindi. Obviously, it's not ideal that the tutor literally lives down the road here and I'm talking to him on Skype because of this whole COVID-19 thing. But what to do now? As soon as the school's open, I'm back in there with the tutors learning. And actually, I'm stuck here. I can't get back to Delhi because, why should I be doing Skype calls here? I can do Skype calls from anywhere in the world. But they've closed the borders and all. I did a live stream yesterday about what was happening with COVID-19 here. And Rajasthan had closed their border. And I just knew that the other states were going to follow suit afterwards because it has to be done. So yeah, I can't go home and do classes from home. Maybe I can get to Haryana, but actually we shouldn't be traveling right now. So I'm going to stay put. I'm going to study Hindi hardcore. And I'll make you guys some videos. If you guys want to support the work that I do, hit that join button, become a channel member. And if you want to learn more about learning Hindi, you want to get more Hindi learning tips, grab my book, How to Learn Hindi Faster Than I Did, from carlrock.com. Thank you guys so much. Good luck with your Hindi learning experience, or journey, I should say. And I'm going to be here to help you. I'm going to make more Hindi videos. Jai Hind.